Hi, in this video I wanted to discuss how to have an out-of-body experience, as well as some personal experiences that I've had with out-of-body experiences. The main thing about this video and other people's videos is that I want to make this video as simple and easy to understand as possible. Not a lot of huff and puff or BS involved in it. So a little bit of background. One thing that I've done is read a lot of books on the subject of how to have out-of-body experiences. Read Dr. Monroe's books, read The Phase, read Robert Bruce's books, astrodynamics, things like that. Read a lot of blogs online, and over again I'd have issues with their process not really working, or reading through all that information is pretty daunting at times. So one thing I wanted to do is just make it easy and straight to the point. So the first thing that you want to understand about having an out-of-body experience is really ask yourself, why do you want to have the experience? For me, I never wanted to have the experience, oddly enough. I had sleep paralysis, and then it led to me having out-of-body experiences. But what I've noticed is that the more I try to have an out-of-body experience, or the more consistent I want to get, the question of why keeps popping up in my mind. Why do I want to have it? So that's the first thing that I think is most important to having an out-of-body experience is, why are you doing this? Why are you spending all this time and effort doing something that is odd to a lot of people, or seems strange, or maybe complex, or takes up a lot of effort and time as a person to really achieve this? It's not easy, right? So ask yourself why. For me anymore, I've come to the realization to the answer of why for myself, being that I want to be an explorer and I want to learn. I want to understand. I love traveling. I love going to new countries and seeing the people, hearing them, and trying to understand the culture. And the same thing is with out-of-body experiences for me. I have an out-of-body experience and I go to a new land with new people, and see new things and experience new sounds, sensations, and new ways of seeing reality. And that to me is the most important thing. That's my why. What's your why? So once you have your why down, then you're going to start with your intention. Your intention tonight is to have an out-of-body experience. Not only tonight, but all the time. That means that, just like lucid dreaming, if you know anything about lucid dreaming, we often do reality checks. The same thing is with intention. You set up the intention so that when you actually perform the sleep processes, or you go to sleep, that your brain has the intention to actually achieve what you're trying to achieve. You're setting the groundwork. Your intention's set to have an out-of-body experience tonight, right? So think about that. Think about that through the day. Think about why. Think about it being as one of the most important things that you can do today or tonight. So you constantly are thinking about, I am going to have an out-of-body experience. Think about maybe what the sensations would be like. This will all help you. In another video I may go more into that and more in detail of actually why this is helpful to you. But right now I'm just going to stick to the basics. So let's continue. So the next step is what I call the wake back to bed method. So there's two methods of having an out-of-body experience. There's the wake back to bed, which is often considered almost spontaneous, but sometimes people achieve what we call the direct method as well through it. Either way, the wake back to bed method is one of the best ways of doing it because your body's already rested. What the wake back to bed method is that you sleep for about 4 to 5 hours throughout the night. Don't try anything. Don't think about anything besides your intention at the beginning. And when you wake up after 4 to 5 hours of sleep, do something. Do a little activity. This is going to wake your brain up. And it's going to make you more aware again and active in your mind, so that when you go back to bed, you can actually be somewhat awake. Why is that important? Well, in an out-of-body experience, you're dreaming, but you're also conscious. It's like the in-between little stage that we're trying to get to here. Once you wake up and you're ready to go back to bed, generally I wait about 30 to 45 minutes before I go back to bed. And a lot of people discuss different times. If you ever read anything in The Phase, he talks about 5 to 30 minutes being okay. For me, it takes about, on average, about 45 minutes to an hour for me to wake up and get ready to go back to bed. The reason for this, I don't know. Everyone's different. But 45 minutes to an hour works for me, and it may work for you. Sometimes people use less time, and that works for them too. Main point is, you're trying to wake up a little bit before you go back to bed. So once you feel that you're actually kind of awake, I think that's about the time that you're ready to go to sleep. So as you lay down and you're ready to actually go to sleep again, think about the intention again. As you lay down, think about, I want to have an out-of-body experience. I will have an out-of-body experience. And again, think about the sensations that you may experience in an out-of-body experience. This again is really important, but I don't want to go into it right now. Just kind of hit that I believe button. So as you're going back to sleep, again, don't try to do anything at this point. If this is your first time trying to achieve an out-of-body experience, or maybe your second or third time, don't try to do anything. Just relax, set your attention, and go back to sleep. Once you're able to do that, often people start waking up more and more throughout the night during this period. So you're going to have more and more opportunities to achieve the next stage. The next stage is not moving and not opening your eyes when you wake up. That's right, it's going to be really weird at this point, but you don't want to move and you don't want to open your eyes. This allows your brain and your body to still think that you're asleep, and also gets you in that little in-between area that we talked about before. So if you are able to keep your eyes closed, not move, you may start feeling some sensations. You also may wake up in an out-of-body state and not know it yet. That means that everything around you may seem absolutely 100% real, but that means you are in a dream state or an out-of-body state. So often what I do is I try testing some things first. First, if I can see light and I know my eyes are shut, that's generally a good indication that I'm having an out-of-body experience. And at that point, I can start moving around. If I don't see any light, but I'm feeling sensations of vibrations, noises in my ear, people talking, things like that that seem a little bit weird or off, then generally I'm getting close to the point where I can actually move around. If you move around and you're not projecting yet, or in an out-of-body experience state, that's okay. You'll wake up and it's time to go back to sleep again and try again. You'll wake up later on in the night and you'll get to try again and again and again until you wake up in the morning and ready for work or the day. So if you are able to move, the first thing you want to do is move away from your body. Right away, generally, you'll see that you're actually floating or having some odd sensations like that aren't normal, and that's a pretty good indication that you're having an out-of-body experience as well. So generally what I do is I'll move away from my body or move to another room or try to move through the wall and then continue my dream and do whatever comes natural. So if you get to this point and you're actually moving around the room without, say, using your feet, or you can think yourself around the room, things like that, then time to try some interesting things. A lot of people try to use voice commands, things like that. In another video I'll talk about how I was able to use voice commands to actually go visit some areas and things that I saw. Doesn't mean that you'll see those things, but it gives you an idea. The most important thing to remember during the exit stage is to relax. Sometimes I see scary, horrible, terrifying things that kind of shake me to my core. But even though it's scary, don't worry about it. It's not real. It can't hurt you. Everybody that I've ever talked to, every book I've ever read, every single person that actually knows and has had out-of-body experiences consistently can tell you right away that it's safe, it won't hurt you, and if anything, it will expand your knowledge of reality and consciousness in general. It's an exciting experience to have to allow you to learn. The most important thing that I've learned in astral projection and lucid dreaming in general is that fear is just in the mind. And if anything, I am the one that reacts to fear. The more I react to it, the worse it gets. So when you experience something that's strange or can be a little scary, just ignore it, move on. It's not a big deal. When you wake up the next day, there's an important thing that I want you to remember. And it's generally why people keep dream journals and things like that. It's reflection. Reflect on the night before, what you did that worked, what you did that maybe didn't work, and what you can improve on. The important thing from this is to learn. If you fail, it's not a failure. It's a way of learning. And then tomorrow night, when you try it again, you maybe get a little further. I want you to know that having an out-of-body experience isn't an easy thing. Anybody that says it's easy generally is not having an out-of-body experience. It is not an easy thing. And the reason it's not easy is because, just like anything, it takes practice. Practice makes perfect. So think of your night as practice. Think of your day as practice. Think of your life as practice. Practice makes perfect. And we are not perfect, and either is our ability to have an out-of-body experience. We're continually learning, and we're continually growing. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. I'll be releasing more videos in the future about astral projection, lucid dreaming, and other states of consciousness that possibly you've never heard about. I'm not an expert, but I'm practicing to be one, and I hope you join me in this great journey through life.